What is up, people of the internet? Welcome to Karens Korner, episode 2. Today we'll be going over Coughing Karen and Daddy Karen. And we have a new special guest host on our show tonight. But let's all introduce ourselves so the audience will kind of know who we are, our background. So, what's up? I'm TBG, Blind Gamesman. Y'all know who I am. Hopefully, y'all subscribe to my channel. Keep in mind if you like what you see, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that notification button. Subscribe to my Patreon. It puts food on my table. That's all you need to do to help me get fed each and every day. Come on, I'm starving. So let's hear a little bit from our guests. How y'all doing today?
Good. Kelly, why don't you go first? Because I was on last week, so you go first. You're new.
Okay. So my name's Kelly. I'm an educator in Texas. I got my undergraduate degree in sociology and then also a master's degree in sociology. So I know a lot about sociology. I'm definitely passionate about, inequality and race issues. So I try to stay informed as best I can and try to kind of give advice and my perspective on things to my conservative friends and family out there, just to kind of bridge the gap in the ways that I can.
Thank you, Kelly. And to respond to some of our comments, Ruben Sarah is in here representing all the Karens in the world.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, after last week, my parents actually watched some of the thing, and my dad was like, "You're a total Karen." And I was like, "Wait a second. I am not, going up to people saying racist things. I mean, yeah." He's like, "That's the Karen." He's like, "Mm-hmm." So, I mean, I do come from a white affluent background, and I've grown a lot over the years. But that I guess, I don't know, that little whiteness comes out every once in a while.
And once I agreed with your dad, you felt attacked.
I so felt attacked. I was like, that's not fair. But oh well. I mean, I guess that's why I can give a good perspective of maybe why these people are acting the way they did, because I grew up with them all my life. These rich white people. Well, not like rich, but well-off white people. So
I don't know. Y'all have a 2-story house with a couple bedrooms. From where I came from, that's pretty rich.
No, well, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I guess it's definitely your perspective.
All right. So let me give y'all a little background on our first video, and it's a short video, so we'll be able to go through the whole thing and then comment on it. So this coughing Karen here, she's from Queens, New York, in New York. She's at a Queens bagel shop. Her name is Lauren Balsamo. Remember that audience, Lauren Balsamo. And she actually works in the medical as a medical research coordinator at Weill Cornell Medicine. This lady is from the health industry, and it is disgusting and sickening to see what she's about to do with the knowledge that she knows and the amount of people diagnosed with corona that she has been around. So let's keep that in mind. So let's get this video started. All right. Calling her a pussy. Oh, she did more to say it to her face.
She's like, oh.
Crazy.
Her look, everyone keeps talking about the look on her face when she looks up
and sees the camera.
That she sees the camera, she's like, oh, she's like, I got caught.
Yeah, she seems surprised. Like, I'm going to be viral now, right?
Yeah.
I know everyone can see my bad behavior.
Right, because it's amazing how many people, what they try to get away with when they don't think that they can get in trouble.
Now, did y'all notice how confident she was going into the conflict. But once she saw that she was being recorded, there was a very quick change in her face.
Oh yeah, she's like, oh, I'm
It was
gonna get.
like, oh shit. And she's a grown woman. I'm pretty sure she watches the media, and she's in the healthcare field. She probably knows what Karens are. It's very likely that she knows what Karen are.
Mm-hmm.
So she was shitting her pants when she saw that she was being recorded. She probably went home and cried, balling up in the corner, and afraid. Well,
So
afraid to lose her job.
well, I mean, yeah, everyone's like, where does she work? Where does she work? Because, I mean, so apparently the woman in line, she was wearing a face mask. She made a comment about, to the people working at the store, like, hey, maybe y'all should implement a face mask.
She was doing that passive aggressive thing where you
Yeah.
talk about someone right in front of them to someone else. Right.
Right. Which, I mean, I don't really agree with that either, but the reaction of this woman to go and cough in her face,
Yeah.
even if we're not in the midst of a pandemic, that's so disgusting. Like, ooh, like it's just so nasty.
That's actually considered assault right there. Like if you if you cough on someone, that could be considered assault. I know if you spit on someone, that definitely is considered assault.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it should be, especially in the midst of a pandemic. I mean, that's disgusting. You could be spreading the virus.
Spreading the virus, and that can get someone killed.
Yes.
And did you see how mad she looked that she was called out though? She was like mad, like irate. So much so that she's now name calling the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like why is she so mad that someone's calling her out?
Why is wearing a mask so triggering to you?
And I think that's the point. That's the main point.
She's above the law. She feels like she's better than everybody else. That she don't need to.
Well, she calls the other people like pussies, right? So they're weak, right?
Yeah.
Does she think?
Which is a whole other conversation using that.
That. So there was surveys. It shows that men they prefer not to wear the mask because it makes them feel like they're weaker. It makes them feel that they're acceptable.
I'm not going to wear a mask because I'm a man and I'm strong.
Well, men don't wear sunscreen for the same reasons, and they have high rates of skin cancer.
Yes.
So,
oh God, that's another. Yes, I had that same argument with my son's dad this week. I was like, my son has to wear sunscreen.
Yeah. He's not immune. He's a human.
He's not immune. Yeah, exactly.
But it just goes to show she's disrespecting everyone around her, everyone in public, because she's not wearing that mask.
Right.
I guess if you're out in an open area, if you're in your own car, it's cool. But you're in a bagel shop, a shop where they serve food.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more enclosed area, so you're breathing the saliva, coming out of you, the drip particles coming out of you. It doesn't have to travel far to get onto a surface. And I think what was it like? Corona can live up to 2 days.
Oh no, way more, right? I don't know. It's a long
5 days on metal or something. I don't know. It likes certain surfaces better.
Yeah.
But she's so, and then the woman who got coughed on, took it really seriously. She said that he took care of her not old, I'm sorry, I think she said her parents or her grandparents. So, people who are older, and she said that she got tested and she's quarantining herself until her test comes back. So these people she's trying to help in her family, she can't help right now because this disgusting woman coughed on her and she doesn't know if she, if she spread anything to her.
Right.
So she's definitely affected. Her life has been affected.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't think about that. She's selfish. She's only thinking about herself, her convenience.
Mm-hmm.
And her comfort.
Her comfort.
Yeah. So that that right there is a definition of entitlement.
Oh, for sure.
She's above everybody else. Nobody else matters. That right there is Karen.
That's Karen. And, I keep seeing these memes about people comparing the recent protests, the people who protest, in the lockdown so I can get a haircut, comparing to the actual protests going now, about, racial justice, police, police brutality. And it's like so sad that the comparison of the differences in the people's thought frames in our country. Like I try to understand everyone's point of view. I try to understand why are people thinking this way, but sometimes it's really hard. It's really hard. I'm like, I don't understand why you don't respect and care about other people.
So Alicia is asking, so what happened with this? Were the police called?
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't think the police were called. I just know it went viral and it got on the news and on the media everywhere. It's had hundreds of thousands of views over the weekend. But if anything, I hope that lady pressed charges. That's assault right there.
I don't know if she pressed charges. Like I said, I did read that interview where she got tested and she quarantined. But I know everyone who's sharing the video is like, where does this one work? Like they feel like, there needs to be consequences for her actions.
And Alicia, if you can describe these women's actions, what would you describe them as? Leave them in the comments and I'll read them out to everybody.
I loved Alicia's comment the other day.
I know you got something good for us. And it'll be very entertaining for the audience. They would all love to hear.
Yeah. Alicia, I think she said, Tree mentioned earlier who her employer was. I don't know if she's recently working for them, but you said she's working in the medical field as a researcher.
Yeah, she is a medical research coordinator at Will Cornell Medicine. So any of y'all viewers, if y'all from New York, y'all know somebody that works at HR in Will Cornell Medicine, hit them up.
I mean, basically, the woman knows better. She knows better, which is even more sad and more disgusting.
I think it's just invoking on her liberty of not wearing the mask, right? Because this is the land of the free. So people have this mentality that you can do whatever you want because it's their right. And they don't want to wear a mask and they don't care if it prevents someone else from getting sick because they feel like they're taking the risk, right?
Makes me wonder if she wears her mask all the time at work. Because I know you work in a hospital, you have to wear a mask.
She's probably one of those people that like puts it around her chin. So she's like, I'm wearing it, but I'm not really wearing it.
Exactly.
Well, for all we know, she'd be one of those people that cut a hole in her mask.
Oh my God, Christina, those are horrible.
Their reason is I can breathe easier.
I mean, it is hard. It's not like no one's saying the masks suck. Like they suck because it is hard to breathe in them. And like Kelly, you wear glasses, and I don't wear glasses, but when I breathe, it my son
clog up your glasses.
And that's a big. I mean, granted, I don't want to go out and about a lot, anyways. But if I have to go somewhere, I wear a mask, and I don't like it. So it's like I make sure my shopping trip or wherever I'm going is really quick, because I'm like I have to wear this mask. I don't want to spread disease. I don't want to get it. But at the same time, like, oh, it sucks. So I'm just going to get what I need and I'm not just going to shop around. So just, I mean, yeah, it sucks. It's not comfortable. It like hurts your ears. I had to go into work and we had to wear masks and I was like this, but just do it. It's not worth dying. It's not worth it.
I'm sorry, but I think women wear far more uncomfortable things than the mask.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, everything that we have. I mean, beauty is pain, right? So it's not that uncomfortable to me.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yes, but that could be a whole nother segment.
I hope a Karen video pops up that will be relevant to that. Maybe she's going around wearing heels, but decides to take her mask off.
Jonathan just commented that there hasn't been much of a push to wear a mask in New Zealand. And I'm wondering, Jonathan, are you from New Zealand? Because all the information I've heard is that they've eradicated the virus and it's gone.
No. Actually, there was a report earlier today that some British people came over to New Zealand and people are being diagnosed again.
That's what I was wondering. If the whole world has it, like you can't unless you stop travel, you're going to reinfect the population.
Yeah.
That's why 96% of air travel has decreased.
That's a real shame. I feel like, especially if I finally got to a point where my country was like pretty much free of the virus, I would really be hesitant about not allowing them, but like checking them, maybe even making to where people get off planes, they have to be tested or something, because
well,
that's on the plane.
A lot of places already do that. And they, a lot of places, they make you automatically quarantine for 2 weeks before you're able to go out in public.
Right.
Well, that's like, you can't have a vacation, right? Because that's your whole time.
Right. It's gonna be hard. If it's global, it's gonna be really hard. But the thing about New Zealand is, as Alicia pointed out, it is run by an intelligent woman who reacted quickly, and she, I'm sure, is taking the new cases very seriously. And any new cases that do come up, she's going to treat them the same. Everyone gets tested. They follow closely who you came in contact with. And it's just pretty much the opposite of what we're doing here.
Can we get that woman over here to run our country?
Oh God, please.
We want to elect her.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Like
maybe 125,000 people would have died if she was running our country.
Well,
somebody get on it. Alicia, you seem to know a lot about her. Let's see if we can give her a call.
Yeah, well, I mean,
everyone from America will all sign your letter.
Yep.
Yes. And she told us exactly how she did it. And it's not hard. It's just we're refusing to take the proper measures
maybe our leadership thought their plan was better.
It all comes to do with money. They don't want to spend the bailout.
Nope.
So they want to open up the economy because they don't want to spend money to bail out the economy, basically.
Yeah, and according to leaders in Texas government, it's okay to sacrifice grandma if the economy's booming.
Oh, it's not just Texas.
No, it's not just Texas.
Not just Texas. I remember Vegas. There was Florida also.
No, our leadership definitely was on the news saying it. It's okay to sacrifice grandma if it helps our economy.
Oh, what if it was their grandma?
Exactly, because it doesn't affect them directly, so they don't care.
It's like they don't have empathy. Right.
There's no empathy. It's not happening to me or my family, so what's the big deal? And that's actually the biggest problem America has. If it's not happening to them directly, they don't care.
Yeah.
We went real deep into this one. And we haven't even got to the second one yet. All right. Before we move on to the second one, see any more comments that we should address? No, it doesn't look like it. So
thanks for watching, Alicia.
And Jonathan. Thanks for watching, Jonathan. I'll see you later on at the meeting.
Oh, Benjamin's here. He says, "Yo, Tree."
Oh, what up, Track King?
So Benjamin Kelly is another guy that Tree's been working with. He's on most of his other videos.
Oh, he's my day one. All right. Oh, everything almost got it.
Can I jump in as a surprise guest?
Not tonight, but y'all gonna see him in the morning. We got a show in the morning. Next episode of TBG Spills the Tea, little preview. It's about Adderall.
Can I read Alicia's comment real quick?
Oh yeah.
Sadly, the out of sight, out of mind frame of thinking was long the thinking of anti-vax thought process. But now we have a virus that is very much in sight, and people still do not care or show sympathy for others. I totally agree. I mean, when old diseases are coming back, we have new diseases, old diseases. Not a good time.
That's because people are always gonna care about their own well-being, their own comfort. And especially in our country, because we've all been spoiled.
Well, I wouldn't say
most of us have been spoiled.
I wouldn't even say most are spoiled. I would say the people in charge have been spoiled.
Yeah, the people that make everyone else is a capitalist, working, right? We're all a proletariats slaving away without very much education, vacation or healthcare guaranteed. So we definitely are praised like working hard, right? So I don't know.
Hey, Jazz says, "What's up, my goons?" Hey, Jazz, I haven't talked to you in like, God, a year.
Oh, what up, Jazz? Hey, we need to go get another drink sometime soon. Tell you what's going on with all these ladies around. All right. Y'all ready?
Right.
Now you ain't inside being recorded.
Great.
I remember.
Please call your friend on the call box and have him come down.
They don't have to do that. You could just walk away. Oh yes, call the police. Remember that. I remember this exactly happening when I used to live in my own condo, and then people used to call the police all the time.
Sure.
Hold on. I want to comment on that right there. Because it sounds like this isn't his first time having the cops called on him.
Right. Like mistaken identity. Like he's used to people thinking he doesn't belong where he is, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way he looks.
Yes, and it's basically living while black, walking while black, existing while black. That life for him or for any person shouldn't be that way, and that's fucked up. It's and I'm pretty sure the people that called the cops on him were whites or Karens, and at his own place of residence. All right, let's continue this.
The door here for you.
That is okay. Nobody's asking you to hold the door. You can do whatever you want. But I'm recording you right now, and you're going to be the next person with this.
You don't need to threaten me.
I'm not threatening you.
You are.
I'm not threatening
You're
you.
going to be the next person.
Definitely not
It's
that.
on TV.
Hmm.
Remember that, and you had your son with you. That's why I asked you if that's your son. It's better. I will delete this.
Yeah, there's a trespasser in my phone.
Just
listen to your son.
I'm just wondering, why does he think? What makes him think that the guy's a trespasser? Does he know everybody, every single person that lives in that building? Does he not think that the people who live who are there have friends?
Yeah, I mean, I live in an apartment complex, and I don't know all the people that live here. Who knows?
Of course not. And the way that he kind of made it, like, escalated it more, right? By saying, like, you're threatening me. Like, he's obviously not threatening you. If you would listen, you would understand that. But you were so busy trying to find an excuse to rationalize what you're doing.
Yeah. And he is in his every legal right to record him. If anything, that's for his own safety.
Yeah.
If there wasn't any recordings of George Floyd and the situation that the tragedy that happened to him, like none of the protests would happen. Derek Chauvin would likely still have a job. Those 3 other cops would still have a job, and nobody would have been aware. Barely anybody would have been aware.
Yep.
So I was audiences. I'm suggesting, if you see any animosity between any authority figure and anybody else, just whip your phone out and record it right away. If they tell you to stop, don't stop. You're in every legal right to, because you could be saving a life or saving future lives. So, I'm sorry for my rant. Let's continue.
It's sad that it has to be like that, but you're right. I mean, we have to show every little horrible injustice that people are experiencing, because if people don't see it, then they don't believe it.
Yep. And it will be hard to prove in courts.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's body cams, but those body cams can be manipulated.
Sure.
All right, let's go.
There you go. It's the better. I agree with him, Daddy. The better. Let's go. Please, I don't like this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you pause it.
Okay. All right.
So,
I think we've seen enough.
So I've seen this a couple of times. Every time the little boy starts like crying for his dad to stop, like I want to cry because I can just imagine my son saying the same thing. You know, it just like as a mother, as a teacher, seeing the seeing the little boy cry like that, and he knows, you know, what his dad isn't doing is right, and it pulls on my heartstrings, and I'm just like, dear Lord, like what is going on? Your own son knows that you're wrong, and he's crying and begging for you to stop, and you can't stop.
I'm just wondering at that age, I think it's like 8 or 9, what's going through his head that made him know that, you know, calling the cops on a black man is bad. What have you witnessed, you know, before? Or, you know, at that age, you know, aren't cops, you know, in their eyes, cops are supposed to be heroes usually.
Mhm.
And that's what is that what the schools teach kids, that cops are heroes? If you're in danger, call 911 and a cop will come.
Yeah. I mean, they teach kids, you know, police officers, you know, help the community, right? So they're being taught that police are helpers. And we also know from like movies and media that cops go after the bad guys.
Yes.
So if someone calls the cop on someone, then they're bad, right? They're a bad guy. So maybe the kid just thinks that that guy wasn't bad. So why are the cops being called?
Now, thinking about it from a psychological perspective, I'm just wondering how the relationship between the son and the dad is going to be moving forward, and that could be mentally damaging for a child at that age, and,
Yeah,
and
I
how
mean,
he's going to view his dad.
Traumatizing, I would say.
Yeah,
oh, it'd definitely be traumatizing. I mean, he sounds like he's strong. He's like, stop, like what are you
He's
doing?
begging his dad to stop.
and his dad just
And
continued.
ignoring him.
Yeah, I mean, Alicia says, you know, she was like, eventually, she was like, oh, Alicia says, God, he should lose custody, child endangerment. When children have instincts for good, well, children have instincts for good and bad. And I agree, like children, you know, they're still learning. And so they have that gut instinct. This is not a good thing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
and and I don't know. I just feel bad. I just feel bad for that kid, and I'm also wondering how he's processing everything going on right now, and how is he looking back at that situation a year ago.
I mean, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this video was because we as parents and as teachers have to do better about speaking and teaching our kids about racism, about injustice. And it seems like such a huge, scary concept, especially, you know, with younger children, but they get it. They get it. Um, you know, I have done lessons about how, you know, voting rights and how women haven't been able to vote, you know, as long as men, and their kids, you know, they're first graders, and they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, a long time ago, I was like, women couldn't vote. Not even that long ago. You know, a woman couldn't vote, and they had to fight for the right to vote. And they were like, wow. And so they want to know. Their brains are growing. They want to be taught, you know, what is going on in the world. They're curious. And so it's our job to teach them. It's our job to open their eyes so they can be, you know, active citizens when they grow up, or even now as children.
Oh, Kelly, what is your observations of like kids in middle school? How are they processing or dealing with this current situation?
You know, I don't know about how they're dealing with the current situation because I haven't seen them since.
Oh,
Um, but you know, I feel like it's kind of important to mention that like kids see color, right? They can tell that someone's black, brown, white, but when they come at it with such an innocence, right? And so I feel like as adults and teachers, we need to acknowledge the difference, but then also teach that it's not that different and that everyone has the same good qualities. So when I look at someone with, you know, you know, that's like black skin, it's my job to not automatically think that they're bad, right? Just because.
Mhm.
But, and I feel like that's because we were raised of where we don't see color, right? We're colorblind. That kind of hurt us by having the hard conversations of, no, we do, even if we pretend that we don't. And that's okay that we do, but
Mhm.
everyone still has good qualities and everyone is a human being.
Oh yeah, I mean, my son, he's part Hispanic, part Persian. His skin's darker than mine, and he's known since he was little, like, oh, I'm brown and you're white. Like, he gets it. And we talk about racism, we talk about things going on in the world, because unfortunately, he might get, judged because of his name and because of his skin color. And I hate seeming like I'm trying to prepare him, but I want him to understand how the world works. I want him to understand that this is the way people think, and this is how we can do better. This is how we can be better. And so I definitely have those hard conversations pretty much daily now because of everything that's going on, because he'll see me watching videos and he'll be like, what's going on? And I'll show him the videos and he'll be like, why is that woman, acting like that? Why does she not? I was like, I don't know. I think she's afraid because he's Black. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it doesn't make any sense to me either. And then we stop and we have that hard conversation. So I definitely encourage parents to also do the same with their children. Like, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, and your children are going to have weird questions that maybe you don't know how to answer, but you do the best that you can,
Yeah,
And you also want to protect them, right? You don't want to show them the horrible things that are going on. So you want to protect them and you want to protect their innocence. But on the other side, if you don't tell them about racism, then whenever they have a failure or whatever they feel insecure, they'll take it on themselves. And they'll say, well, I'm not good enough. Even if they did nothing wrong, let's say they were discriminated against in a store, they did nothing wrong except be who they are. And then they feel like they're not good enough, right? But really, they're fine. It was the other people that have the problem.
Right.
So knowing that other people have a problem is kind of important for self-esteem, maybe.
So in a situation like when y'all talk to your kids, let's say how should they react in a situation to where they're discriminated against? Should they remove themselves from the situation, or should they stand up for themselves against the discriminator?
Well, that's a tough question. You're talking about children being discriminated against.
Because you know they do.
I think for children, we teach them if they're being bullied or they're being talked to in a way that they don't like, to tell the person, stop, I don't like that. You're hurting my feelings. And I think that if we teach children maybe to talk about that, to talk about their feelings, say, hey, what you said really hurt my feelings, and this is why. Maybe they can help educate that other person, to the other child, to be like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that's how that made you feel. But of course, that would be like a perfect scenario. And so, but like I said, I think educating all children, talking about it in schools as well, because I know a lot of parents don't like having those hard conversations with their children, and just to being able to talk about it in an open environment, a non-judgmental environment, and it just being a part of the school curriculum, that we don't hide it anymore. It's out in the open. These things are going on, and our children need to understand how to deal with it.
So do you see you do see racism becoming more of a topic of discussion moving forward in the school system? As I know in the past, it's an uncomfortable topic. It's been avoided.
Yeah, definitely. I know we had new curriculum, like as an educator, we had new curriculum last year, and a lot of the stories, were written, from people of color. They talked about Hurricane Katrina. They talked, poems and stuff like that. So I do think it's becoming more diverse.
Yeah. I just want to say, Sasha says, I think it's up to the other people around the Karen to speak up for the person being bullied, and always important to stand up for yourself when possible. So I think that's another good point. I think also, don't be a bystander. If it's I've been in a situation where someone has been harassed. It's like someone's harassing someone else in a store, and your first reaction, you're like, what is going on? And you're like, should I get involved? Will I get in trouble? Am I going to get hurt? And you're kind of thinking about yourself. But I think that it is important, because sometimes maybe that person who's being bullied maybe they can't stand up for themselves, so they need help. And it's kind of that, like, if everyone comes against that bully, and they're like, hey dude, don't do that, this isn't right, then it'll have a better outcome. But
so with that in mind, I'm like, I've thought about this ever since the whole George Floyd situation happening. Like, if I was there, I would definitely tackle the cop to get him off of George Floyd. But being that it's a cop, that would also be assaulting a police officer. But but that would have saved the life. So, talking about bullies, bad cops are the biggest bullies of them all. That's in my opinion.
well, and it's like, again, like, I feel like it's easy to say, oh, I would have done this in this situation, but until you're actually in that situation, you honestly don't know what you're going to do. And I think that's maybe why, training, okay, let's actually train. Like, what would you do if like, we talk about it all the time. Bullying's bad, don't bully, don't do this, speak up for yourself. But then it's like, okay, but how? How are we going to do this? So maybe even having those little, like, practices about, like, okay, someone's going to pretend to be the bully, and then we're going to, what will we do in this situation, because, like I said, it's so easy to sit there and be like, oh man, if I was there, I would have totally just, like,
Well,
tackled the cop,
well,
which
I've actually been in this
probably
situation.
would have,
I've actually been in that situation a couple of times. There was a time Sandy had to pull me off a cop.
but
Oh, I can tell you about that story
But
later. Yeah, Kelly.
most people don't, though, because they're fearful of authority, right?
Right.
So most people won't.
No, but as we've seen in the past weeks, authority, authority, they do wrong. They do wrong too. They do a lot of wrong,
Mhm.
and being scared of them will only give them more power.
right.
That's why now, a lot of places are thinking of defunding or demolishing the police department,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
like, go through some extreme reforms. What?
Ben says, I think more Karens should have sex more.
Oh,
Yes,
I
Ben,
do. I do support.
what
I
it
do
is.
support
They're
that.
sexually frustrated, and so that's why they're acting like this. I'm sure that's what it is. I'm sure.
Their rich husbands are probably at work all the time with their secretary, and they at
Oh
home
my
not
gosh.
getting any.
Married people have more sex than single people.
It depends on the single person.
So
I don't know, and plus, that's not what I heard about marriage.
I don't know. She's a sociologist, and she, is really good at statistics. So
Oh,
she,
yeah, I'll take your word on it. I, I believe you. We go to the same school. We have the same professors.
yeah. Oh, so Sasha made a good point. I'll kind of like summarize. Well, she says she had a client who was confused about talking to her children about racism, because she always taught them that everyone's equal, and her children had not experienced racism.
Everyone
Sorry.
should be equal, but that's not how
He
society.
doesn't understand why she should expose her children to racism if they have never been taught to not be racist.
Um,
And then she goes on to, she says she explained by educating her children on what is and what bad things can happen, then her children can advocate for those being victimized. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like we said, like, I grew up in a affluent white neighborhood. I never experienced racism, but I had experienced my friends' racism. I've experienced my friends having to go through that. And when I was younger, like a teenager, I didn't understand what was going on. I had a friend who was Black, and we were at the mall, and she didn't want to go in this store. And I was like, come on, let's go in the store. And she's like, the woman's looking at me funny. I think she's going to, stare at me and follow me around and she probably thinks I'm going to steal something. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
likely true.
What? And I was mad at her because I thought she was being paranoid because I was like 12 years old. I had no idea. I was like, is this a real thing? And so after that incident, that's when I started asking questions and stuff. And I was like, wow, like, it totally opened up my eyes. And then I was talking about my parents and they're like, so yeah, I definitely agree. Like, even if your children don't experience it themselves, having that knowledge can be really powerful, especially if they're in a place of privilege where they could use that to help and advocate for other people.
And we actually went through a similar situation last year on July 4th. We went to a like a July 4th thing, fireworks get together at a neighborhood. And I told you I felt uncomfortable because there was so many white people there, and I was a little paranoid because I was a minority there, and I might get profiled, and I don't think you understood.
I didn't. I mean, I was there. It was in the city I had grown up in, and I understand. I did not fully understand how you felt, and then I felt bad, and I was like, how can I try to understand what you're going through? Because I hadn't really experienced anything like that before, and I was kind of confused about but that's why it's good to talk about that. That's why it's good to get out of your, like I said last week, your bubble, and be like, okay, there's obviously different points of views on this topic. Let's explore those. Let's educate ourselves.
Oh, right now? We've been doing that for the past hour.
Alicia says, Tree, I live in Friendswood. I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
Well, I'm not the only one.
I totally, I mean, I get it, because I even kind of, felt like an outsider sometimes because I didn't feel like I fit in it completely. But
Alicia, that night, she just told me, chill, be normal.
It was 4th of July, and I was with my kid, and I was like, I'm trying to make a good experience for my child, okay? I did feel bad. I did feel really bad.
Oh, you feel bad now, too. Thank you for having my back, Alicia.
Yeah.
All right.
Me and Alicia, we have lots of Karen experiences.
Oh, maybe we should have Alicia on one day.
I know we should. Come on the show.
All right. So it looks like we're getting to the end. It's getting pretty long. So do y'all right around now? Do y'all have any final remarks? Comments for either Coffin Karen or Daddy Karen today? I'm gonna go last.
Oh yeah, Kelly, are you gonna say something?
I don't have any remarks for them. I was just gonna say I've been kind of following The Conscious Kid, and it's a really great resource to kind of talk about, racism and stuff to children, and just kind of to educate you and your whole family. So that's been something that I've been doing actively to kind of.
Is it a website?
Yeah, it's a website. If you just Google The Conscious Kid, I think you pay $1 per month, and you get a bunch of resources.
I'll put it down in the details when I upload the video.
Wonderful.
And Conscious Kids, if y'all looking to sponsor, give me a brand deal. Hit me up. No, I gotta eat.
I'm definitely gonna look that up, because I'm always trying to find more ways to add resources to to teach my son and to also bring it to the classroom. So that's great. Yeah. My final thing is, I'm going to say this every week. Nothing is going to happen if we keep talking about it, if we don't do something. And what you need to do is you need to go vote in November, because none of this is going to change if we don't get the criminals out of office. And we can't make, real big change until the right people are in charge. And for that to happen, you have to go get registered, and you have to go vote, and you put them in charge, because we choose our leaders. We choose them. And if you don't want to be a part of, choosing that leadership, then that's on you. You have no right to complain. Go vote. Let your voice be heard that way. That's my biggest advice.
And like y'all heard last week, I've never voted before in my life, but I am gonna vote this time. Everybody around me is getting on me about voting. She even made me register to vote. So don't cancel me. Don't get on me about that. I need my YouTubes. So
Okay,
I need
great.
y'all.
Here you go.
If a matter of fact, if you want me to vote, put in the comments on who I should vote for. Let me know why. But I think I pretty much have my mind made up since Andrew Yang's not there for me to vote anymore. So, all right. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all was educated a little bit. I hope y'all laughed a little bit. Remember, give me a like, leave down in the comments. If you got a Karen video that you would like us to react to analyze, drop a link, and make sure to hit that subscription, that notification, so y'all would know every time a new video uploads. So see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, people of the internet, for sticking it through to the end. Hope you appreciated it. Hope you got something out of it. Hope it helped you out. Now, you want to show some love, show some support, give me a subscription, give me a like, hit that notification button, share the video, leave a comment. And at the beginning, I said you stick through to the end, you'll find out about some benefits, giveaways. All the details of the benefits and giveaways is going to be on my Patreon. You do have to be a subscriber to be able to get those giveaways and benefits and raffles. I'll be giving out raffles. They can be like gift cards, merch, whatever I can get my hands on to show my appreciation to viewers, subscribers that month, that week. So, and if you have a topic in mind that you'd like me to do, to go over, drop it down in the comments, hit me up in my DMs, send me an email. I will take it into consideration. If you're a subscriber, I would take it even bigger consideration. So, I hope y'all have a great day. Appreciate it. See ya.